If you think the Biden administration has done a good job with the traditional dollar, you are going to be blown away by what they want to impose on the digital currencies. The executive order on ensuring responsible development of digital assets that was announced by the White House on March 9 dramatically increased the chance of terrifying scenarios really occurring in the near future. The decree might mean not just the end of the world's reserve currency but also the end of our rights. It suggests using the federal bureaucracy to regulate digital assets such as cryptocurrencies and to plan for the introduction of a central bank digital currency in the United States. So, what do you think about the executive order Biden signed? Hello and welcome back to Crypto Cash Channel. Are you with the idea that cryptocurrencies should be regulated? And how do you think this would impact the industry? In today's video, we are going to be looking at Biden's executive order on crypto. But first, before we go on, a sub to the channel would be very appreciated. Comment, share the video, and don't forget to leave a thumbs up for the video. So, let's get into it. In recent years, cryptocurrency was the industry that received the most advertising during the Super Bowl, which is often the most watched television event of the year in the United States. And there have been a few mentions of the crypto ecosystem in various works of popular culture, such as a skit on Saturday Night Live and a segment on The Simpsons, which is currently the longest-running primetime show in the United States. Other works of popular culture have also made references to the crypto ecosystem. So, the increasing ownership of digital assets as well as their popularity prompted President Biden to release a new executive order with the aim of ensuring the responsible development of digital assets. And instead of a specific plan, the executive order should be interpreted as a call to action from the government. And in accordance with the order, the government must safeguard consumers, investors, and companies in the United States, and it must support technology developments that promote responsible creation and use of digital assets. In general, the White House is working toward striking a healthy equilibrium between the benefits offered by cryptocurrencies, such as increased financial inclusion and efficiency, and the risks associated with using them like illegal funding, consumer and business misuse, and regulatory arbitrage. In addition, the executive order requires the submission of a number of reports by a diverse range of stakeholders within the executive branch, which must then be coordinated via the interagency process. Financial regulation has a long history of being regulated by government bodies that have extensive autonomy. This practice has been in place for quite some time, and the White House has made it very plain to the Federal Reserve that they expect regulatory autonomy, but they want their objectives met. So, the Federal Reserve has been encouraged to continue studying and reporting on the development of a central bank digital currency, which might be formed. Also, the executive order states that the Federal Reserve should have already prepared 2 studies on a CBDC by this point in time. In its report, the Federal Reserve stated that it wished for legislation to be passed in order to establish a CBDC, but in the event that this did not occur, it reserved the right to issue a CBDC with widespread public and cross-governmental support. According to the New York Times, Section 4(c) of the executive order encourages the Federal Reserve to study the optimal form of a United States CBDC and to develop a strategic plan for the Federal Reserve and broader United States government action, as appropriate, that evaluates necessary steps and requirements for the potential implementation and launch of a United States CBDC. This could be a good fit for the Fed's definition of support and would require the Fed to develop a strategic plan. So what plan are they working on? A report on policy proposals for the rest of the financial regulatory world, moving beyond the CBDC, is to be drafted by the Treasury Department in accordance with the mandate, which requires the department to do so. Alongside the Department of Labor, the Federal Trade Commission and a large number of other independent financial authorities have been given a consultation role as retirement accounts are still regulated through the Department of Labor. According to the statements made by each financial authority, investors and market protection measures within each jurisdiction's various states are also encouraged to analyze the degree to which measures to address digital asset risks may be implemented and whether additional measures may be necessary. In addition to this, it is of the utmost importance that the Financial Stability Oversight Committee produce a report outlining the unique financial stability risks and regulatory gaps provided by various forms of digital assets, along with recommendations on how these potential problems can be resolved. Before the Financial Stability Oversight Council was established, work on stable coins was carried out by a different body of regulators known as the President's Working Group on Financial Markets. And well, its paper proposes that the Federal Reserve should exercise regulatory authority over stable coin issuers as well as digital wallet providers. A significant chunk of Vice President Biden's executive order is devoted to addressing the national security problems brought up by digital assets. These concerns include the evasion of financial sanctions and the laundering of illicit funds, among other things. The invasion of Ukraine by Russia was cited in the executive order issued by the White House on cryptography. This highlighted the increased need of maintaining national security and mitigating the illegal funding and national security hazard caused by the exploitation of digital assets as the third purpose that is defined in Clause 2(c), which states the objective. When talking about potential future White House partnerships, both the Assistant to the President for National Security Affairs and the Assistant to the President for Economic Policy are brought up simultaneously. The statement that was released by the White House in support of the decision was written by NEC Director Dees and NSA Advisor Sullivan. It is uncertain to what degree Russia's recent actions have affected the national security objectives and engagement outlined in the presidential order. However, while the numerous agencies involved work on the substance, they are required to take into account the consequences of crypto and digital assets for a far greater degree of international sanctions, national security, and foreign policy. During the interagency process, there will be additional help in the form of bureaucratic and policy assistance for persons who are worried about the role that crypto will play in this particular sector. And because of the conflict in Europe, the camp that supports American dominance of the global payment system for reasons of national interest has gained sway in policy discussions that aim to strike a balance between economic efficiency, competitiveness, and financial inclusion. These discussions aim to find the optimal combination of these three factors. In summary, the executive order serves as a blueprint for all of the future efforts that will be undertaken by the Biden administration toward cryptocurrencies. The recent work that has been done by the Federal Reserve on a CBDC appears to be strengthened by this new development, and it would be fascinating to see what happens as a result of the ruling, which provides the AG the ability to evaluate whether or not the Fed has the legal jurisdiction to issue a CBDC. The directive makes an effort to find a middle ground between the potential benefits of digital assets and the plethora of challenges and risks that are associated with them. However, it is clearer that the White House aims to maintain the role of the dollar as the world's reserve currency despite the widespread use of digital technology and the emergence of new forms of digital assets that compete with government-issued money. Let's keep our fingers crossed that everyone involved will be able to collaborate effectively and get their findings and rulings in favor of cryptocurrencies. But in the long run, it is extremely important to bear in mind that the document in question is more of a guide than a set of regulations. And during the period of 90 days to 1 year, many agencies have the opportunity to present their reports, analyses, and opinions. So, it is crucial to highlight, however, that the judgment made in Biden's executive order constitutes a significant step toward regulatory clarity, and the overall tone indicates a respect for the challenges involved in regulating what has evolved into a massive enterprise. And that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching. So, should cryptocurrencies be regulated? And do you think that it will be an advantage or a disadvantage to the currencies themselves? Comment below. Let's engage. Also, if you are interested in more videos like this, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell for more amazing videos. Goodbye. See you in the next video.